Hello, singing friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's Mickey here, your friendly neighborhood singing coach. So today I'm going to be reacting to Yuval Raphael's song, A New Day Will Rise from Eurovision. And I got a request to react to this from, I believe her name is Liat. Please correct me if that's not the case. And I haven't watched any of the Eurovision competition, so this is going to be a first impression. I have to tell you guys, I don't really know about how Eurovision works or how like the different rounds work or like how the scoring is done. I think it's like call-in, like American Idol was, where you can like vote via phone from different countries, but I'm not sure. I just haven't followed it in the past. And I've kind of stayed away from reacting to this video, even though I've gotten a few requests to watch it and to react. The reason I've avoided it, honestly, is just because it's such a fraught issue and it's really hard to talk about, and you know, the conflict. And it's really difficult, especially to separate the politics from the art in this case, because it is at the forefront of everything. There have been a lot of protests, and I heard that people, you know, Palestinian supporters threw red paint on the audience during one of her performances, and people have been very outspoken in protesting her being part of the Eurovision contest and Israel being able to participate. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about like some of the symbolism in her performance in a moment that I've heard about. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen like some headlines. But you know, for me, I obviously have a point of view and I have thoughts about the conflict. And for those of you who don't know, I am American Israeli. So I was born in Ashkelon. My family made Aliyah in the 70s, and I was born in 1980. And then they came back to the States when I was less than one. So I really consider myself more American, but I love Israel. My Hebrew's not great. taking it Hebrew on Duolingo right now, making slow progress. But I went on birthright, and my husband is Israeli, Yaron, and his entire family, other than his nuclear family, are in Israel. So we've been there many times. It was a big part of our courtship and relationship, going to his cousins' weddings and events in Israel. And our kids have been to Israel. And we have not been since the war began, because, you know, Israelis are a tough people. They're sabras, right? And so for them, this is their reality. And running to bomb shelters with little kids, they kind of just are a little bit more nonchalant about it, you know, because it's part of their everyday experience. And unfortunately, it's been normalized. And I just am not comfortable being there and having to run to a bomb shelter with my kids. It would be traumatizing for them, I think, and for me. And my oldest son, Dashel, recently became a bar mitzvah, and we wanted to go to the kotel, and that just wasn't in the cards for us. And my husband recently said, like, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to go back to Israel. And I'm trying to be optimistic about everything, but I don't agree with this forever war. You know, I think the security threats to Israel are real. I think what Hamas did on October 7th, there's no way to justify that kind of violence towards innocent people. I understand, obviously, the pain and frustration of the Palestinians, but massacring innocents is never justified, in my opinion. And I think the hostages are innocent. I mean, you can argue about the soldiers and that were captured, but the people that were at the Nova Music Festival were at a festival of peace and love. And Yuval Raphael was there, and she was forced to hide under a dead body for 8 hours before she was rescued. And apparently there's audio of her calling her family during that time. And I haven't listened to it because I've ingested a lot of very graphic content from the October 7th massacre. Obviously, Hamas filmed a lot of the violence that they perpetrated and live streamed it and sent it to the families of the victims. And so it's all out there, and I watched a lot of it, and now it's in my brain, and I don't want any more of that stuff in my brain. So, you know, she obviously is a survivor, and she now has had this Phoenix Rising arc where she's become the representative of Israel for Eurovision, and that's very impressive. And I think most of us would agree that the hostages deserve to come home. And it's really upsetting to me that that seems like its second priority in Israel now. I think it's always been a value of Israel to leave no hostages behind and do whatever it takes to bring them home. And now it seems like that has taken second place behind this forever war, which I think there are a lot of political reasons for. And I think Netanyahu is very corrupt. And the whole situation is really upsetting. So that's why I haven't wanted to talk about it, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are a lot smarter than me who probably have a lot more information about the ins and outs of the coalitions in Israel and what's going on politically. And obviously I have a lot of Israelis in my family, and so I'm not unbiased about how I feel about everything. I do have Palestinian friends who I know are suffering a lot of pain because of this and are very good people. So I didn't want to wade into all of this, but here I am. So that being said, I think protesting this survivor of the Nova Music Festival is really not appropriate, and she should be able to tell her story and to represent Israel. And the things that I've read about her performance are that she honored the Bibas family. So if, you know, you guys remember the redheaded babies that were murdered, Kfir and Ariel Bibas, and the older boy, I think Ariel, was really into Batman. And so apparently the wings on her costume were an homage to him. And then she wasn't allowed to wear a yellow pin to represent the hostages and bringing the rest of the hostages home. But there was a design in her gown that incorporated that somehow. So as you can see, I'm wearing yellow in support of bringing the hostages home. I do think that that should be a priority for Israel. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about that now. But let's watch this performance. And again, I haven't listened to any of it because I wanted this to be a first impression. So I tried to find a video of the final. So this is, as far as I know, the last version of the performance. And let's experience it together.
Thank you. choose the life and to lose if I lose you. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay, even if you say goodbye. Même si tu dis un jour tu ne partiras jamais, terre ancienne dans mon cerveau, mais que dans le cri de mon se souhaite sous un ciel d'art, un rayon de journée, la seule chanson que maintenant peut jouer. New day will rise, life will go on, everyone cries, don't cry alone, darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we won't stay, even if you stay. New day will rise, life will go on, everyone cries, don't cry alone, darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but you won't stay. Love of my life.
Just gonna pause it there for a moment. So this is very moving, very, very beautiful. I'll just say I really liked the simplicity in the beginning with the piano accompaniment, and I think she references the piano in the lyrics, and she was singing in like a very light, kind of breathy way, and then when she gets to the chorus, she has power in her voice, and it's really projecting, it's really connected. It's not like overwrought, you know? It's not really like overly showy. There's like a purity in the way that she's singing, and I love the uplifting message of the song, but also that the music is appropriately sad. So it's not like something that's like frivolous, like a pop song that's like, everything's gonna be okay, everything's fine, you know, because obviously it's really treating a very serious subject. So I think her tone is beautiful. I really love her voice. She's hitting those high notes with a lot of power and a lot of strength. And it's amazing to me that you can be singing about something that is so deeply emotional and not be overcome by emotion, you know? So she's not like choking up. Her voice isn't ragged. It's not overly performative. She's singing it with excellent technique and it is moving and the message is really strong, but she's not allowing those emotions to overpower her. She's singing it in a really professional way, which I think speaks to just her strength as a person, you know, with all of the protesting that she's facing and backlash, everything that she's been through, all of the trauma, to be there in front of the world and be able to sing this beautiful, uplifting song that is very sad as well, combining that bittersweetness in such a professional, cool, collected kind of way is really impressive. I think the staging with that staircase that's almost like made out of crystal or water, and the projection behind her, there's like an elegance and a simplicity to the design and the color scheme, and her black outfit it's just not overly showy, you know? There's an elegance to it and a clean aesthetic, which I think doesn't distract from the performance itself. I think strings came in when she got to the chorus, which was really beautiful and added to the emotional tension. I thought it was really interesting that she sang the second verse in French, which is, I don't know if she is French, if she has French in her family, French people, I don't know, her personal history. So that's interesting to me. Maybe that's just a nod to how global the competition is. But yeah, it's really beautiful. And this video obviously is from the crowd, so it's interesting to see the cameras filming her and to see everybody holding their lights up, you know, because it talks about how light will go on, and yeah, the whole message is beautiful. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. Let's continue.
you say goodbye, a new day will rise.
Wow, very, very gorgeous. So maybe she's performing in France. I don't know. I have to look it up. But I thought that that was a beautiful performance. And I loved at the end just her acknowledgement of the crowd and her smile. There was a little piece of the song in Hebrew there towards the end. And I just thought the whole thing was really professional. You know, I'm really impressed. I can see why they came in second. I don't know who came in first, but I thought that was just an excellent performance of a beautiful song. So I have nothing but admiration for her. I would love to check out the official music video. So maybe I'll do another reaction video to that, because I would love to hear all of the lyrics clearly. I'm actually gonna look up the lyrics now. Let's see. All right, so these are the lyrics. It says, "And even if you say goodbye, you'll never go away. You are the rainbow in my sky, my colors in the gray. My only wish upon a star, sunshine in the day, the only song that my piano ever plays." So that obviously was a really nice nod to the piano accompaniment. "And even if you say goodbye, you'll always be around to lift me up and take me high, keep my feet close to the ground. Are you proud of me tonight? Dreams are coming true. I choose the light, nothing to lose if I lose you." So to me, obviously, this is like a nod to all of the victims of October 7th and the fact that they're not forgotten, they're still celebrated, and their lives had meaning, even though they're no longer physically with us, a lot of them. And then the chorus says, "New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay even if you say goodbye." So very uplifting message. Then there is the verse in French. I think it basically says the same thing. I don't speak French, so for those of you who do, you can enlighten the rest of us. But I know adieu means to say goodbye, right? We'll never part. And then when the sky is blue, you're the colors. Oh yeah, so the rainbow in the blue sky, the colors in my gray, right? So I think it's, and then yeah, the last line about the piano, right? So I think it's the same as the first verse, just in French, but please correct me if I'm wrong. And then the chorus repeats, and then there's a bridge in Hebrew, and it says, "Maim rabim lo yichvo." So I know that that's like many waters don't, I don't know, dry up. I'm not sure. And then at ha'ahava, you're the love. Ve nerot, the lights, the candles. Lo yishtafo. So I think it means like the light won't go out. But again, for those of you who are fluent in Hebrew, you can correct me. And then the chorus at the end is, "New day will rise, everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay. Even if you say goodbye, a new day will rise, a new day will rise." So I love the message. I think it's really beautiful to find hope despite all of the tragedy. And I think one of the things that has blown my mind is how strong the hostages who have returned have been throughout this entire ordeal, and how positive and optimistic they've remained. The whole "we will dance again" slogan, and a lot of the girls that came back, they found strength in each other, and I think one of them is missing fingers, and so she created like a hand gesture that celebrated the fact that she's still alive. All of these people, you could understand how being in captivity and experiencing something so traumatic would damage you for the rest of your life, and you would be totally justified in being like a shell of a person, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's not the spirit of the Israeli people. I think they're really resilient and really strong. And I know for the hostages who've returned, they really want to get the rest of the hostages out, and that's a real priority for them. And actually, they've received a lot of abuse in Israel by people who support the war, and so the whole thing is very upsetting and complicated. And I know it sounds like a cop-out for me to say that, but I really do think that there are so many factors at play, and there's validity to a lot of different viewpoints. So, but in terms of this performance, I think it's gorgeous. I think the message is really, really beautiful and on point. And I think it matches the spirit of the Israeli people, and especially the hostages, that feeling of a phoenix rising from the ashes and making something beautiful and positive and forward-thinking, forward-looking, hopeful for the future out of something that could be very negative. So thank you for suggesting that I watch this. I'm sorry that it took me so long to do so. And I hope that nothing that I said was offensive or hurt anybody further. I try to not get into politics on my channel, but in this case, I think it really is impossible to separate the art from the political situation. So thank you for sharing. I hope that you enjoyed my reaction, and I'll see you guys here next time. Until then, take care, and of course, happy singing. Bye.